Welcome to the Freedom Property Podcast, the modern real estate brand empowering excellence.
Don't ask me about my freedom.
What is going on? We are back, Freedom Property Podcast show. Here we go. Pumped a few out of these now, haven't we?
Yeah, there's been a couple. Hope you guys are enjoying them so far.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome having the agents on. It's good, just having a chat to you and just seeing what we come up with, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hopefully we're providing some value. So
I'm getting some good feedback. It's I love having the agents in and just seeing what they've been doing. Like it's so cool just to, it's going to hold them accountable, I reckon, as well, because they're going to be like, all right, coming in here, making all these big plans, and then we can get them back and just see how they've gone with it.
Yeah, in a year. So a year ago, I saw on the podcast, you said you were doing, how's that going now?
Seriously.
No, it's different. Yeah, when there's a microphone in front of you, like, you can just, be more real. And whereas when you're just talking, it's a totally different thing when you're recording it.
Seriously. Yeah, no, it's been interesting. I'm enjoying it. But today I thought we could talk about how to scale your business.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of agents out there. We're talking to the real estate agents right now, the principals, how do you scale your business, So let's look into it.
Yeah, sweet. So I suppose, I'm a fresh agent, been going for a couple of months, maybe had a listing or two. What should I be thinking about in terms of scaling, Josh?
Yeah, so if I was a real estate agent right now, which I am, but if I was just getting started, all I would do is make sure that I'm focusing on myself to start with. I would make sure that I'm learning every part of this business. Like with us, we've got roles for every part of this real estate business. We've got lead qualifiers, we've got buyer managers, and we've got listing agents. These are the three roles. Don't worry about all the stuff, like you're putting up listings, doing contracts. You don't need to worry about all that stuff. There's people out there that can help you with that, but the three roles that you need to master as an agent is leads, capturing leads and understanding how to handle a lead. The next part is buyer management. You need to nail that buyer management process, and then you got to get real good at being a listing agent too. So these are the three roles that I would focus on, and I would make sure that I was, I knew how to run each of those roles perfectly.
So to dive into that a little bit more, to maybe give a scenario, I'm an agent, I've been an agent for a year and a half. I'm in, an agency that doesn't necessarily embrace these kind of role-based things. And I do everything right now. And when I hear you say that, I'm like, but I don't have time to just focus on those things. I've got so much going on. What should I be doing?
Yeah, but those agents, they are doing those things. They just don't realize that they've got a different hat on each time they're doing it. And sometimes they're doing all three at the same time, as a new agent with me, when I first would get into the office, I would handle my leads first. So all of the people that have contacted me on new properties. So all of the emails that have come in overnight, all of the phone calls that people are asking me information about the properties, I would deal with them first, because people that are walking into your restaurant, they're the most important people to deal with. So you got to get back to them real quickly, give them the service they want. Then obviously, once the leads are done, I would get into my listing opportunities, and I would ring all the people who I thought were coming onto the market next. That's when, because obviously these people are about to pick their agent, so I want to make sure that they remember me, hey, I want your business. I'm just letting them know, that I'm here for them. I'm keen to come doing a presentation on them whenever they're ready, so I would clear those calls out next, and then the next calls that I would do would be my buyers. So I'd start with my hottest buyers, and I would move to my weakest buyers, so they're the three roles. But agents are sometimes headless chickens. They're running all over the place, and you are doing these roles, agents. You just don't realize you're doing it, So if you get real structured about your business and know what a lead is, know you're dealing with buyers, know you're dealing with listing calls, you master those three roles to start with.
So, but, Josh, I like kind of putting my listings up, and I like doing my own Instagram posts. Are you telling me I shouldn't be doing that, or?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
It's, you got to, every agent is a bit of a control freak out there. I'm the same. I like to be in control of everything going on, but the more I release, the more money I make. The more I bring people in and I let people focus on what they're good at, then the easier my life gets. I have a listing team who puts the listings up for me. I have a contracts team that do the contracts for me. I'm not going to slow myself down on those types of things. I've got a lead qualifier who now answers my phone and handles all the leads that come in. I've got a buyer management team who handle the buyers, okay? And I've got myself as the listing agent. So I stay exactly where I need to be, which is closing business. I'm the one that deals with the offer when it comes in. So when the buyer manager's ringing these buyers and they find a buyer that wants to buy a property, I'll be the one that closes that deal. I'm the one that talks to the seller. I'm the one that closes the deal. I'm the one that motivates the sellers to come online. So I've got to the point where now I'm just fully focusing on exactly where I should be, exactly where my seller wants me to be. My seller does not want me writing an ad for them. I'm not a copywriter. I'm a real estate agent. My seller does not want me drawing up professional contracts for them. They want a professional contracts team to do that.
Are you saying this stuff in your listing prayers?
Definitely, I'm a businessman. The other people that potentially have been in front of you are salespeople. Who do you want to deal with? I'm running a business here. These people are doing everything. I've got people that are going to focus on all different things in my business, and I'm going to be exactly where you want me to be. And this is the difference with my business, and this is why I can take on so many listings, and this is how I can build this. So we're talking about scaling right now. So what I would start with is getting really good yourself. All right. So understand these roles. So know what they all are, because I did this. I did all of this. I was doing some good numbers and I was doing everything. And I was a headless chicken. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have a mental breakdown soon. And I see heaps of agents out there who, you ring them, they're, oh my God, I'm so busy. And you're like, okay. That's not where you want to be living. You want to have good presence when you're going into a listing presentation with your sellers. You want to be calm. You want to be, you want to take your time. You want to get to know these people. You don't have to be thinking about all this stuff you need to do or get back to, or you need your team around you, especially if you want to get to the next level. You can get to a certain point doing it all yourself, for sure. You can work like a beast and you can get it all done. You can micromanage everything and you can just be on top of everything yourself. But you're going to get to a point and you're going to make the same amount of money every single year. You might have made a little bit of money over the last year or so because the market's gone up, but it's just going to keep capping yourself. And so
to dive into that, when am I actually ready to put someone on? Because, at the moment, again, I'm an agent, 2 years, I'm doing all the things because I have to, because I can't afford to pay somebody right now. When am I actually ready to put somebody on?
Yeah. So, when you're ready because you can't manage the calls, the more leads that are coming into me, fantastic. I want more leads coming in. But if I can't handle all these leads that are coming in, if I'm not going to capture everybody perfectly, then I'm wasting my time here. I'm just leaving a destruction path behind me, and that's not what I want to do. So I want to straight away, I want to get someone, employ somebody and get them to help me with that part of the business. Because if you if you don't handle a lead properly, that could have been someone who had a house to sell. They might have had 5 houses to sell. Imagine if you were an agent and you just had a phone call off somebody and you were so busy that you didn't take their details, you didn't ask them the right questions, and that person, that could have had 5, 6, 10 houses to sell. You know what I mean? And they could have been an unbelievable client for you. But because you're so busy, you're burning these opportunities. Because you're not getting back to them quickly, you're burning the opportunities. My business, I know who my problem is. Because I've got leads that need to be qualified, I've got buyers that need to be called, and I've got listing calls that need to be done. If the listing calls aren't done, I'm the problem. If my leads aren't done, my lead qualifier is my problem. And if my buyers aren't called, I know my buyer managers are the problems. But so that's where I would start. If you're watching this and you're making good money right now and you're selling a lot, but you're stressed out, let's get you some help. But you need the right system, obviously, to make this all come together. We're fortunate enough to be on the property platform. This is what we can do. But this is exactly what I've done anyway. I would bring somebody in. So all these people that I would start advertising and saying, hey, look, I want to build my team. So stay focused on your team and get your sales up to a huge amount. You might be working in somebody else's office right now. That's okay. Just get yourself to a really good point. So get yourself a buyer manager, get yourself a lead qualifier, have a team of 3. And everyone has their role, and watch what happens to your business. You'll end up just getting way more, especially if your buyer manager and your lead qualifier are really good and they start asking the right questions. All right. And you may choose to just become a really good agent in someone's office, and that's great. That's fantastic.
If that's what you want to do, yeah.
For sure. Yeah. But then you might get to the point where you think I'm making a really good income here. I'm ready to take this to the next level. You've got a team of 3. Now what you can do is you can go start an office over here, all right, with your team of 3. And these 2 people that have worked for you, they can train your 2 new buyer managers and lead qualifier, all right? So now you've got 5 people in your team rather than 3. Your old lead qualifier and buyer manager, they go into sales. They become your new sales agents, and you've got a new lead qualifier and a new buyer manager. And in a year's time, you do the same thing. And now your team starts growing like rapidly. And your business is growing rapidly as well, because you're just delivering unbelievable service to the marketplace, and you're not missing anything. And actually your life is easier because you've got more help. You've got good people around you.
This is so funny because Josh Warren from Eastside team, he's just starting to actually do this now as well.
Yeah.
And the last shoot that I was on with him, he said, oh my God, like it's actually just clicked into place that I'm like, I actually have time to be an agent.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is what Josh has been saying kind of thing. And,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh wow, that's like a really cool, I don't know, moment. Because obviously they've been a pretty tight team.
Yeah.
And now they've got two more people on that's doing that buyer manager, and they're splitting into those roles now.
Yeah.
And he's like, he just looks like he's got a weight off his shoulders, you know?
Seriously.
So-
Oh, it's so good as well, because you've got these buyer managers that they're just servicing these buyers like out of control, which then means you create more listing opportunities, because sometimes you don't realize that people have houses to sell, but because you're motivating and you're talking to these buyers so much, you end up creating more listing opportunities for the listing agent. You've got someone that's handling all the leads, all the new business coming in, ciphering them through, figuring out who they are. You're now seen in the marketplace as a business rather than a salesperson. It's nothing worse than ringing a salesperson. Like I inquire on property everywhere. Like I'm looking for a place at the sunny coast at the moment, and like the amount of times that I ring people and they don't even take my details, it's crazy. Like I ring them and they don't even like try and get my email. They don't like, I never hear back from them. Or if I inquire on a property, like I might get like 1 phone call, sometimes 2 if I'm lucky, and then it's gone. You know, but imagine a buyer manager that followed that person through from start to finish. Imagine if that person actually had a house to sell. Like the odds of them, the main listing agent now getting through the door because of your buyer manager is through the roof. And even better, so say you employ someone that's young as your buyer manager, and they're like 18, 19, for instance. Like right now, all you tell them to do is service these buyers so well that in 5 years' time, when they're ready to sell this house that they ended up buying off another company, they would then come back to you. Like it's so powerful. Like, and that's what we're seeing in this business now, because I've got young agents in here who were my buyer managers for 2 years, like Christian Parker, for instance.
Crushing it now.
You know, like he's been my buyer manager for a couple of years. And so he's been servicing all these buyers, and now he's out in sales by himself. And I think he's listed like 12 houses in his first like 2.5 months of being here. Like that's pretty crazy for like a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, and that's because he's got that experience.
He knows
and he's
how to
helped
handle
all
the
those
buyers.
people.
Yeah.
And he knows how to handle them. He knows what to say here. He knows how to get through the door. And that's what he's doing.
And soon enough, he'll be ready to scale, like have his own buyer manager, you know?
And then, then you got one of these agents in your team. Say you're the main office owner again. You've got one of these agents in your team, and then they create their own buyer manager, their own lead qualifier. Then these lead qualifiers and buyer managers are going to want to become salespeople too. And if your agent will stay with you, which most of the time, if you create an unbelievable atmosphere and you give them unbelievable deals, that they're not going to go anywhere anyway, because let's do it all together. It makes more sense for us in this office, for instance. You know, like we've got a big national brand now, Freedom Property, but obviously my office here, this core Freedom Property Central office, like it's we've got a really good thing happening at the moment, you know. And I see like other businesses, like I like Koloshi at the coast, you know, like they've got a really good business model because they all stuck together and they're all performing really well, and like the marketplace sees them as a great team. They don't just think, oh, there's that one guy that sells the property. They think about the team. You know, it's the same with like your Tom Offermans and some of these other ones at the Sunshine Coast.
Yep.
Like unbelievable teams. You know, the Reed and Co's. You know,
And it's
like,
so funny that you say that as well, because it's like, you know, I'm a media person, so I'm not in it as much as you, but I still have like perceptions of like agents and teams within the area. And you're dead right. Like whenever I see, because I'm always looking at other media and that kind of thing, whenever I see the media that Koloshi puts out, you know, some of these other agents, Reed and Co as well, like I believe in them because it's clear that they are doing it right and they're doing it with, you know, people around them kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's just so clear when you see someone on a video or something that it's like, you know, you're just not doing all this things that we're talking about here.
That's it. Like old school offices, like and old school brands, you know, like they're the agents have to do everything. They do have to do the contracts themselves. They do have to put the listings up, like, and then they've got to like be salespeople as well, and then, you know, handle all the buyers, handle all the leads, do all the listing calls, do all the inspections. Like, it's too much. It's too much. You know, you're going to stress yourself out. You're going to miss people, and you might be making money right now. You might be making sales, but you're leaving a destruction path behind you of people that won't deal with you again. And real estate is longevity. It's about people coming back to you. It's about what we're finding is that the people who we never even sold houses for or to come back to us because they love the service so much. You see, and that's powerful.
Like was legit just on a shoot with Leanne, and the seller, you know, we're working out a bit of micro content, and the seller was like, it was just a buyer from 4 or 5 years ago, didn't actually, I don't think, buy anything. And then, you know, she just continued to follow him up once a quarter. And then when it came time to sell, he called her up and was like, you're the one, and I'm not going anywhere else. Like, I'm not even getting anybody else in because you just actually rung me up.
It works. The system works. You know what I mean? It's, and yeah, so you just got to know where you're at personally. Like, I would say focus on yourself first, focus on your individual business. You might make so much money in there that you don't really necessarily want the headache of starting an office. Not that starting an office at Freedom Property is that much of a headache. Give us a call. I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. You know, but you know, we can, as agents, you know, you can get bogged down in stuff, you know. So that's what we've done at Freedom. We've taken all the stuff away. But then you might be thinking, all right, I'm going to start my own office. So you start your office, and then you got opportunity then to potentially grow a rent roll. And, you know, that's, again, these are things that can steal your time. They can steal your energy, you know, like you've got extra stresses, you've got extra people that work with you now and that you're employing, and, you know, there can be headaches there. So there's obviously steps to all of this stuff. But I think where I'd stay focused right now, if I was an agent out there, I would stay focused on my business. I would just become number one in my area. I'd build my team. I'd get a really strong team happening around me, and I'd figure out then if I do want to start an office. And if I did, I would do exactly like that, exactly like how I said. Nice. And that's exactly what I've done. Yeah. You know, and look at the amount this office is growing. We've got like 20 salespeople in this office now, and
more coming in every week.
18 months ago, I had like 6 people, I think. Yeah. You know, and but then all of these all these agents in here, they've all got buyer managers. We've got like 7, 8 buyer managers in here. So what that means for the marketplace is that we've got 7 to 8 people now who are just ringing buyers all day, every day. That's all they do. We know the buyers. You know what I mean? Like, we know the buyers. I'm telling you, we know exactly where these buyers are at. That's why when property comes into this office, we've got buyers all over it, because we've got people that just focus on the buyers. Yep. You know, so everything works out better when you just go with this plan of attack. You know, you don't want to employ somebody to go do the prospecting for you. Like, you need to do the prospecting. The main listing agent needs to do the prospecting. People don't want to deal, like, you know, with the assistant with the prospecting. They want to deal with the main person, you know. They want to know who they're going to be listed in the house with. The main agent needs to stay focused on where they need to be and stop getting all your time stolen, and you know, stop being control freaks, agents, you know.
I think honestly that's so key. Like, because we're in the process of like scaling at the moment, and it's like I want to make sure the videos, you know, the color grade is a particular way or whatever, but it's like I've got to focus on running the media business, and it's like we have to hire somebody and get them to like do what I'm doing kind of thing. But I've just got that control where I'm like, oh, but I want them to be this way, so I needed to do that. It's like, no, you need to get rid of that, and then we'll just scale like infinitely, you know. Like,
that's it. And you know, like you just got to train these people well, you know. And if you've got like, we film and we're now recording a lot of this stuff so that we don't have to necessarily have to pitch it all the time, you know. And again, like, we're making the most of everything. So a new agent right now could join our brand, and we've got a catalog full of videos, training videos, ready to rock for you. I sent it to this guy. He's not even in real estate, and he rang me last week. I said, well, how did you hear about us? And he's like, oh, I went on the top real estate agents in Queensland, and I just picked out your name. You were up there, and you know, and I was like, wow, well, that's working for us. That's great. So that's attracting people here. And I said, and he said, I'm speaking to a few different agencies, and I said, look, mate, I'm going to send you through our podcast show. I'm going to send you through all the videos that we've done, like all the training videos we've done over the last like 12 months with the teams and agents and stuff. And I was like, watch all these, and if you like what we're about. And he was just absolutely frothing. Like, imagine a new person getting into real estate and the amount of content that you could get, you know, like, so if your training is good as well, you know, like, you can fast track all of this stuff real well into building a team, I reckon.
So yeah, a little hot tip there. If you want some of this training, maybe just send Josh a little DM and we can maybe link it up for you.
Like I said, we're giving away everything right here in this podcast. You know, I've got no problems telling people, you know, anything about my business. So I want them like, you know, like I love selling houses. I love, you know, getting results for people and creating those relationships with my sellers. But, you know, even more so, I love helping people. I just want the agents out there to think that, wow, great, I'm so stoked that we met that team, you know, we met those people, you know, and that's what I want people to think about with our business at Freedom Property. I want them to be like, they really want to help us. They're not ripping us off. They're really helping us. And, you know, that's what we're building here. Modern brand. And so to zoom out and wrap it up a little bit, you know, we're talking about scaling. It sounds like scaling is really kind of a mindset. Like, you know, if you have a clear vision of where you want to go, and that is, you know, to be the number one agent or to, you know, have a team around you. Sounds like you need to kind of get that mindset together and then start looking at all these systems in place. Focus on yourself and then start releasing some of those things to the right people. Start building your team as you go. You know, if you know each part of those roles really well, you can manage your team well, you know. But if you don't know how to do a certain part of your business, then maybe focus on that first. Yeah. All right. So perfect. Well, yeah, there's stacks of value coming soon. So definitely subscribe on all the platforms. We got it on YouTube as well if you want to watch. And yeah, link it to at least one other real estate agent. Just see what happens. Legends. See you on the next one. Peace.